Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
And on today's show, we're going to talk about landscaping.
Wow. We'll explain basic landscape design techniques.
And we're also going to talk about specific trees, shrubs, perennials, and more.
Then we're going to talk about organic lawn care options.
And we'll wrap up today's show by talking about wild birds and how they can help you in your vegetable garden.
So stay tuned and join us back in the garden after this short break.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. 1880, and we'll see you in the garden.
Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with the #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomers Home and Garden Center is dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds. We carry a flock of feeders like the Brome Squirrel-Proof Feeder, which has a lifetime guarantee. Brome makes fantastic feeders for frustrating squirrels and feeding songbirds. Bloomers Bird Sanctuary has a vast selection of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. We carry Lyric, Coles, C&S, Pine Tree Farms, and our own line called Bloomers Blend. Bloomers Blend Songbird Magnet contains premium black oil sunflower, peanut splits, millet, safflower, and tree nuts. It's sure to attract the most colorful songbirds to your yard. Bloomers Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey. Visit us online at www.bloomers.com. When you come in, ask for Shirley Spurbeck, Bloomers Wild Bird Specialist. Mention you heard it on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, and we'll give you $10 off a 20-pound bag of Bloomers Blend Songbird Magnet Mix.
All right, here we are, Len.
Here we are.
Over the next few segments, we're going to be talking about landscape design.
That's it. You know, landscapes, I get disappointed every time. There's this one house near my neighborhood.
Right.
It has absolutely no plants in front of it
kidding
at
me.
all. It looks barren. I mean, it's just, I can't tell if there's people living there or not, but there must be. There's cars there.
Oh, there is?
But it looks horrible. It's a nice house, but
It is?
But it just looks bad.
Yeah, it's empty, huh?
It is. It is.
Not good.
You know, a good landscape can boost, like, all right, so go in and say, all right, mister, enough with this no plants, you know, and I don't want to hear, I know nothing but concrete. I'm from Philadelphia. You know, sometimes we get that, right?
Yeah, we get a lot of that.
Yeah, but we can increase. So say it's, I don't know, $200,000. It's more than that. It's probably $300,000 house.
At least.
So we can increase the value of that house by $45,000 by just putting in a landscape that's probably, what, $3,000, $5,000?
That's it? Oh, that's cheap.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
I'll take it.
So it's like, all right, that's right.
Yeah.
And it really, you know, it's one of those things where it needs people. You need to have a nice landscape because it adds so much, not only just to the environment, but it's the curb appeal of your home.
Right.
It just makes it feel so much better.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
Now, Len, when you say a good landscape as opposed to a bad landscape, right? I mean, we've seen a lot of those, right?
That's right. And when you're going and you're deciding on what you're going to do for your landscape, there are some basics. We'll go over that in the next segment.
Right.
But a bad landscape is something that is overgrown, never is kept in check.
Right.
And a lot of times those plants that are overgrown are just from choosing the wrong ones.
That's right.
You know, they say that, like, so people that flip houses,
right?
You know, a landscaping accounts for 85%. 85%.
Okay.
Okay. That only leaves 15% more.
That's not much.
So 85% of what a potential buyer will see when they look at the outside. They're not looking at the siding or the gutters or the windows or anything else. 85% of what they're looking at is the landscape.
Wow.
And now we're not talking about pavers. We're talking about the plants.
Wow. Whew.
So
First thing.
Wow. It's like, I like the landscape. Let's buy it, honey.
That's it.
You know, I mean,
That's right.
And it's psychological.
Uh-huh.
It's psychological.
Wow.
That's
big. That's big.
It is.
Whew. So you better get that right from the get-go.
Right. And keep it. Maintain it.
That's
There's a
right.
reason we do this.
That's
It's not
right.
for your neighbors. It's for
No.
yourself.
And I think sometimes we forget all that stuff.
We do.
And it's not part of the house, right?
Right. Right.
We
It's
think
separate.
It's separate, yeah. And it's not,
It
right?
is
No?
not.
No.
It is not. It is not.
No, there you go.
It's the entire,
entire
thing. It is
thing.
part of your
Mhm.
home.
Right. I think about it as another room. Okay.
In certain ways.
Yeah.
In
That's the way I
certain
look
ways.
at it. And
You
I
know,
have to take care of it.
To me, it's just like paint.
Oh, it is?
You know, think
Wow.
about it.
Okay.
It's you're decorating the outside of your house with plant material,
Okay.
and it just is an extension of your
Oh,
home.
that.
So
Oh,
just
okay.
like you would choose siding color, or you would
Right.
choose whether I want brick or whether I want,
Mhm.
you choose those plants, and it's just another part that makes your house whole.
Oh, okay.
You know, you have to have plants.
Oh, yeah.
You have to.
You do.
You have
Mhm.
to.
So you see more of a creative process too in that whole.
Oh
trying to-
yeah. Oh, the house is the frame.
Okay.
The house is the picture frame.
Okay.
You have
So
to
you're like a
fill-
painter.
You are. You're an
Oh, okay.
artist.
Oh wow.
You're an artist.
Great.
And I look at ourselves at what we do
Uh-huh.
at Bloomers every weekend.
Nice.
That, you know,
Mhm.
the palette of paint are
Right.
the plants that we have for sale,
Uh-huh.
and our canvas is the people's homes that they come in.
Oh, I like that, Len. I like that.
That's what it is. That's
Yeah.
what we do.
I'm a painter.
You are. You absolutely are. You're an
Wow.
artist for sure.
Thank you.
That's
I
right.
like that.
Landscaping is not a burden.
No.
Landscaping
No,
is
it
burden.
isn't. No.
Now, you know, on average,
Uh-huh.
a well-designed landscape can save enough money to pay for itself
Wow.
in 8 years.
Ooh.
Now, it saves enough
That's great.
energy to pay for itself. So,
Okay.
so you actually get a benefit
Mm.
because it cuts down on a windbreak. It gives you
Right.
shade. Where in the summertime, think about a tree.
Sure.
How smart is this? You have a tree
yeah.
that shades your house
Mhm.
in the summer,
Right.
so you don't pay as much for electricity.
Yeah.
And then in the winter, the
Uh-huh.
leaves fall off, and then it gives you the sun,
Sun.
so it heats up
Look
your
at
house.
that, huh?
Okay, I mean,
I love that. That's
it's
great.
just smart.
It
you know,
is
and
smart,
again,
isn't it?
that's where we're talking about smart or good
Yeah.
landscaping.
Energy savings, huh, Len?
That's it.
Wow.
That's
we
it.
love it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Health benefits.
Oh, look at that.
There are health benefits that we don't
Uh-huh.
even think about.
No, we don't, do we?
Now, for instance, let's see here. One thing
Uh-huh.
is that common areas within, like, so that this is areas that are between houses,
Mm-hmm.
or say that are in developments in areas where they're planted. They're not necessarily owned by necessarily anybody, but
Right.
those common areas, like some of the 55 and older communities have walks and things like that.
Right.
When those are planted, that the University of Illinois did a study. If you go and you put a tree here, a tree there, and
Okay.
and plant it,
What happened?
that it has built a community togetherness
Oh, yeah.
in those areas.
Wow.
So you're actually, you know, that what they say is you're
Uh-huh.
budding friendships
Budding
that
friendship.
happen in those common areas because
Wow.
people stop and talk.
Oh.
If there was nothing there and there was no,
Wow.
I don't
how
know, I
about
guess
that?
a little bit of a, you know, a protection
Sure.
from, you know, that those areas, if say you
Okay.
had like some shrubs and,
Uh-huh.
and things in a common area,
Right.
and it's almost like a park-like setting.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Relationships are formed.
That's right.
Oh, I like that.
That's right. That's right.
It's very good. Very nice.
Besides the fact that you get benefits from, you know, from runoff, for instance, and erosion control, and all of
Right.
those other benefits from
Mhm.
from plants.
How much we need that, too.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Now there is a tree. Okay.
Right.
There's a study done by the Journal of Environmental Horticulture.
How about that, huh? Good.
Tree cover adds 2 to 9% to the value of existing homes.
Oh, wow.
And one tree can add as much as 2%. So if we have a $300,000 house, all of a sudden you've
Okay.
got 6 grand.
Wow.
One tree.
One tree.
One
Wow.
tree. Good tree, 150,
Uh-huh.
250.
Uh-huh.
But
Mm.
hey, I'm going to get a, you know, let's go get a home equity loan
That's right.
because we want to do the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
Your kitchen isn't adding that much.
Yeah.
I mean, a kitchen adds quite a bit to a good kitchen adds to a home.
Mm-hmm.
But a landscape, dollar for dollar, you get more benefit
More for the buck.
dollar-wise
Wow.
from a good landscape.
There you go. Savings, money in your pocket.
Yep.
Oh, you can't beat that.
Yep.
Huh.
It's amazing.
It is.
Also a good landscape.
Yes.
Lowers your heart rate.
Oh, yes. That's why mine's so good. I just had it done.
There you go. That's good. Congratulations.
Thanks, Len.
Congratulations. Not to mention controlling carbon monoxide.
Oh, yeah, big time.
All of the health benefits that you get from having a
Sure.
good landscape. Those plants are churning out oxygen.
Oh, big time, right, Len?
Yep.
Phew.
Fresh air machines.
Oh.
That's what they are.
Beautiful.
That's what they are.
Environmental right there for
One
us.
tree can remove 26 pounds of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere on an annual basis.
Wow.
Okay, 26 pounds. Big deal, right?
Right.
That's equivalent to 11,000 miles of driving for one car.
Oh, my goodness. That is amazing.
Right?
That is.
11,000
For what?
of exhaust from a
For
car.
one tree.
One tree.
Wow. Look at that. We need to do more planting of trees, huh, Len?
We do. We do.
I think so.
We do. I'll tell you what.
What?
If we haven't convinced you yet
No?
to get a good landscape,
No,
in
we
this
haven't.
next segment coming up, we're going to.
That's
Stay
right.
tuned. We're going to talk about things to consider when you're going to do a landscape.
There you go.
We'll be right back after this. Are you tired of insects ruining your trees and shrubs? Need a product that will prevent insect damage on tall trees but can't reach the top of your trees with your sprayer? Bonide has the answer. Annual tree and shrub insect control kills insects on trees and shrubs from the inside out. One easy application kills most insects, including leaf miners and borers. One early spring application prevents insect infestations for up to 1 year. No spraying, no ladders, no mess. Just mix as directed, using a bucket or watering can, and pour at the base of the tree or shrub. The systemic insecticide is absorbed through the roots and will travel through the entire plant. It will not wash off. Bonide Annual Tree and Shrub Insect Control can be found at Bucks Country Gardens, Doylestown, PA. Shady Brook Farms, Yardley, PA. Delray Plus True Value, New Hope, PA. Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomers' Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com. Spring has sprung and it's time to visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bring us a soil sample and we'll test your soil's pH free. Heck, bring us a water sample from your pond too and we'll test that for ammonia and other critical levels. Did you know that Bloomers has a pond department? We have all of the water treatments, fish, and plants to keep your pond looking glorious year-round. Are you looking for that 4-step lawn program? Bloomers carries Scott's, Jonathan Green, Bonide, and Espoma's Organic Step program. Need to seed? Bloomers has its own blend of seed called Township Turf. It's just the right balance of rye, fescue, and bluegrass to give you a spectacular lawn. It's also perfect for repairing bare spots and matches extraordinarily well to sodded lawns. Don't forget the garden. Bloomers carries bumper crop soil amendment and all the fertilizers a garden could need, both organic and inorganic. The best vegetables start as seedlings from Bloomers. Come visit those who know the friendly folks at Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey, just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. For directions and information, visit www.bloomers.com. That's www.bloomers.com. And we'll see you in the garden. Well, Julio, when you're planting your landscape, you've got a lot of things to consider.
Oh, yes, we do.
But you know, the first thing, we talked about it in the last segment. You have a canvas. Your canvas is your home and the features of your home. Things you have to know:
Right.
heights of windows,
Uh-huh.
widths of windows, where your walkways go,
That's right.
where your driveway is,
I see.
sun.
Sun.
Sun is something to consider, but not the only thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, I have northern exposure. I have northern exposure. I'm all shade."
Right.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But you do have to be aware of that.
Okay.
Shade from trees, like if you live in a wooded area, then you do have real shade.
Right.
But if you are just facing one way or the other, you may get away with some things that are partial sun.
Right.
Most plants are partial sun.
Partial sun.
Right.
Good.
So again, so if your house, let's use your house as an example.
Right.
How high are your windows off the ground approximately?
I'd say about 3 foot.
3 foot. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Most shrubs are going to be 3 to
About
4
3 foot.
foot. As they get older, they may need a little bit of maintenance. That's a good thing.
Right.
I've got some homes that have been built back in probably the 90s. 18 inches was the height off the
18.
ground of the
You're
windows.
kidding.
And these were
18 inches.
enormous houses.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, you've got to choose ground cover. You got something low. You
yes.
can't go too big, or you're
Go
blocking
big.
the windows. How does somebody put a? Well, there's no couch in front of that window. I
No,
don't think. I
I
mean,
don't
think
think so.
about it.
Try
You've
and
got an 18-inch window. I mean, it's like you're blocking most of the window with the
know.
couch.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, those are the things you got to consider.
So what you're saying is scale is really, really important, especially
Yes.
when you're coming
Know
into the
your
garden.
measurements. Know your measurements. Don't come in with a picture.
Yeah.
Like we do this every weekend. Don't bring a picture of your on your phone without measurements.
Yes.
Trying to stop the sun glare and for us to figure out how wide that window is impossible, and that we have to use your canvas that you're given, and your canvas is your home. It's called a foundation planning
Right.
for a reason, because it's planted around the foundation of your home, but it's also the foundation of everything else, of annuals and flowering plants and all perennials and things like that. It's the foundation that you start with.
Right.
And then you work
Your way
out
out.
to the edges, whether it's at a lawn area or whether it's walkways or driveways,
That's great to know.
something along those. Also,
Foundation.
another thing, it's bed size.
Bed size, yeah.
What drives me crazy,
Go ahead, Len. What's going on?
everybody out there,
Uh-huh.
your beds are controlled by how big the plants you put in them get. Don't try to fit a plant in there
That's right.
because into the, like my bed, oh, they're 3 foot wide. No. They've got to be, they take on the shape of the plants that you're putting in
Right.
there.
So we can make them bigger, right?
You can make them bigger.
That's right.
Or if you want a narrow, you've got to use smaller plants.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
And that's where we come in at the garden center, because we know which plants can go in that area.
Correct. It's like that old square peg, round hole, round hole, square peg.
Yeah.
You got to pick the right
You gotta
plants, and
pick the
that's
right-
what garden centers are for.
That's
We've
right.
often said it that we go and we explain. We're detectives.
That's right.
The thing I want that thing that
That thing.
does this and sprays up and it has those little leaves, but they're prickly and sometimes they hurt. It's like we figure out what you're talking about.
Right.
Your garden centers are going to do that for you. If you're going by your own, the tag says, we're there to help you.
That's right.
Because what we can do is not just give you one option that fits that. We can give you 10
options. Yes.
10.
That's where.
Here's one. It's yellow and it's bright and it looks
Yes.
great and it only grows to be about 18 inches. That's perfect. How about this? This is bright red.
Oh, yeah.
How about this one? This
Oh,
one's a
yeah.
dark
I
red
like
burgundy.
that.
Look, you're getting excited already.
That's right. I am.
But you've got to know the size of your windows and the heights of your windows and all of the different entryways.
That's right.
And again,
We're not just throwing anything.
and rules of threes apply too.
Oh, yeah.
Where you do clusters of 3 plants.
Yeah.
Most
Now, why is that,
often.
Len?
What it is, it's more pleasing. It's funny. There's a car commercial on right now that talks about the rule of threes.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that's a landscaping rule where
Yeah.
it's clusters of 3 plants
How about
sometimes apply. Most foundation plantings, it's where it's picked up throughout the landscape, mostly color wise.
Oh, okay.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Right. We are.
We mentioned color.
Uh-huh.
It's all about color, texture, and form.
Right. Those 3 things.
Right.
Keep in mind, right?
That's right. All right.
Okay.
Color, texture, and form. So color, and don't think color just flowers.
Okay.
Color, we get more color by leaf color than we do by flowers.
We do. Yes.
Think of flowers as a bonus.
Uh-huh.
Now, if
a flowering plant, you need to, in the landscape, pick multiple seasons of flower, okay, to get color and flower. So you start early, you use an Andromeda, then you go to maybe an azalea, then a rhododendron. But there's also other plants that you can get that same bloom period from, like perennials. And you can mix perennials in that bed. But leaf color is always there.
Oh, nice.
May not be the best plant. Golden euonymus. It's got that golden leaf color all
year
the time.
round.
All the time. So you want gold? There you go. Gold thread, right?
Right, gold threads.
Gold threads are a great plant. They sometimes will be different varieties. Let's just say that there's a strain. This one's more yellow than that. That one's a little more green. In the shade, they're going to be more green. But again, it's going to be gold mostly. New growth, it's going to be more gold than it is. It's something to consider.
Right.
But again, that's there all the time. It's not where you have a flower cycle of like 6 to 8 weeks. A lot of times that's what you have to remember. All right, so if I go 6 to 8 weeks, I'm moving from like Andromedas are going to finish up soon, and then azaleas will pick up, and then they'll go into rhododendrons or another type of flowering shrub, and then there's things like that we don't even think of, like aronia and butterfly bush and clethra and all of the different plants that flower and shrubs that flower throughout the year, and hydrangeas, and then you go from like a mop type
So
hydrangea.
what you're saying then is you can't just be looking at one plant all throughout, because it's going to be the same thing year round.
Right.
So we got to change it up a little bit.
Yep. Where all of a sudden it's boom,
gone.
done. It did its thing.
That's right.
And now it's done. And
And
now it's just a
we're-
green blob.
Green blob. Yeah.
I love azaleas. There's nothing prettier than an azalea
Oh,
in
yeah,
bloom.
so do I.
But they're done, by the end of
they're
May.
done,
But there's also different varieties of azaleas that will bloom at different
times. Oh, there you go.
Like a dwarf variety of azalea, and like a Hino crimson's a regular variety, red, right? But then there's gumpo varieties, which are dwarf, and they're going to flower later. It's something to think about.
Right. And we at the Garden Center, again, are there to kind of help you out through what Len's saying. Right, Len?
That's right.
So it's not your canvas is going to be different, not the same all the time.
And we're there to help. And what we do is we translate what you want into the correct plants to pick out. And then do a little research on your own, where you got to say, I really like this, and then we get to tell you the bad news. Well, it's not going to grow in the conditions that you have.
That's right.
But you can use this Russian cypress.
That's
does great in the shade, and evergreen stays low. It's perfect.
There you go.
It can replace that juniper that you wanted, but you get too much shade. The juniper's not going to do well. So use a Russian cypress.
There you go.
So that's it. There's a few more things. Again, tallest things at the corners.
Right.
The whole idea is to accentuate your door in your entry.
Wow.
Try to avoid soldiers at the door. That's just a pet peeve of me, where you all of a sudden you put 2 Alberta spruces right at the door, and they're like little sentries waiting for you to come in.
Yeah,
Just
everybody
try
has
to
the
avoid
same
that.
thing.
Anyway, but we're going to be going into a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about a good balance of different types of plants
There you go.
for your landscape.
Beautiful.
We'll be back right after this.
Stay tuned for the Bloomers Garden Minute. The Garden Minute is brought to you by Bloomers in the Garden, Philadelphia Garden Radio. Find us on the radio dial or on the web at bloomers.com.
This is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden for the Garden Minute. Now that the weather is getting nicer, don't forget about your houseplants. Houseplants are also coming out of dormancy, and it's time to start fertilizing. Start them off slow with a 50% solution of water-soluble fertilizer. We recommend Jack's Classic. It's the original Peters fertilizer from back in the day. Wait a couple of weeks before feeding again, and then once a month when you water. Wake those houseplants up gently and start checking for insects. The plants aren't the only things getting active. Thanks for listening to the Garden Minute. If you have a gardening question, call the gardening hotline at 609-685-1880. Call the hotline 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Today's Garden Minute was brought to you by Bloomers in the Garden, Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Also brought to you by VPG, the Fertilome people.
Fertilome succulent potting mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and eco-peat. Eco-peat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
We're back, Lan, and we're going to talk a little bit about a good landscape again and how to balance the evergreens, the deciduous shrubs, perennials, and annuals.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's color, texture, and form.
There you go.
Color, texture, and form.
That's it.
All right. So, everybody, what's an evergreen?
Evergreen.
What is an evergreen?
It's a plant that's always green.
That's always green.
Doesn't lose its leaves, or it's always
Keeps
there.
its needles.
That's right. Needles.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Deciduous is
It loses its leaves in the wintertime,
right.
and then it comes back in the spring.
Can a let's see, a deciduous let's see, no, not evergreen. Can a needled plant like a spruce,
Right.
or that looks like a spruce, be a deciduous plant?
I've never heard of one.
A larch.
A larch.
A larch.
You're kidding. Wow.
No, a larch is a deciduous needled plant.
Wow.
So just again, it's another dynamic on our landscape choices
Ooh.
in the landscape.
How about that?
So, I mean, right now we talked about some trends last week. Hottest trend is edibles in the landscape.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes, we did.
You know,
It's
they're
amazing.
not going to be they're not going to be part of your foundation plan.
No.
Your foundation plan is going to be a lot of basics, kind of like the frame that goes around your canvas, where your canvas is going to be your home, right?
Right.
And that you're going to be, again, we talked about windows, heights of windows. You're going to be putting plants that are in front of there, and your whole concept is to accentuate the door.
Right.
So
what would be something for foundation planting? Give me a...
you're going to do a lot of the plants that are used now are things that you want to depend on what height. I mean,
Right.
You have to give me some more specifics. You sound like a customer.
Okay. Thank you. I am.
So something on the corner.
Okay. I like a boxwood.
Okay, you like boxwood.
Yeah, I like boxwood.
Your window heights, you said, were 4 foot.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
There are different varieties of boxwood.
Okay.
So you put boxwoods under your windows.
Sure.
Okay. Now, how high? Do you have a 2-story house or
No, it's just one story.
Okay, if you have a 1-story house, on the corners, you could go with a dwarf conifer. Could be anything depending on what kind of style you like. If you like something that's a little formal,
Right.
meaning
I like that.
lots of shaped evergreens, you could go with
I like
something
that.
simple like an Alberta spruce on the corner.
Okay.
Something like that doesn't grow real fast, grows
Right.
fairly slow.
Oh, that's nice. I like
Or a type of plant like that
that. Okay.
that may be a little brighter and have different colors,
color
and a little more dynamic.
Mm.
You know,
Okay.
there's a like Skyland spruce is a variety. You could go with Hinoki cypress. You could go. There's different plants that you can go with. But again, tallest plants on the
corners. Okay.
shortest plants by the door.
Now, why is that? Is that
Just because your whole point of a good landscape is to show off the entryway.
your entry? Okay, so the doorway is important.
Right.
Okay.
If you create a landscape where you're distracted from that, it just doesn't feel
Doesn't
right.
do it.
Yeah, like people may have like a great selection of plants,
Okay.
but it's not. It doesn't jive with the house.
It's
So
way
you
off
need
course.
you need it to work with the house. So
Mhm.
so you got to decide, do you want a formal look, do you want an informal look, and that your plant selection is going to be there.
So what you're saying, Len, is all these they're kind of rules that you have to go by
There are.
to make it look really good. Like you
Right.
say, good landscape.
And what you want to do is pick up colors throughout the landscape. Like
Uh-huh.
a great lower plant is going to be a
Right.
type of dwarf barberry.
Uh-huh.
There's also red and there's chartreuse and there's like
choices.
almost yellow,
Right.
depending on the varieties. But there's
Mhm.
also pillar varieties like
Oh.
that you can use.
Vertical.
Yep.
Okay.
But so say you use a crimson pygmy barberry.
Right.
So you have red. Now all of a sudden you're entering red. You don't want to necessarily leave that pocket of red like if you have a center hall colonial where your center entrance
Mm-hmm.
doesn't pick up that same red on the opposite side of the walk.
Uh,
You want to balance things
balance it.
out. It all depends on what type of house you have.
So you don't want to have one side look one way, one the other.
Right.
That's all you're saying.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
It'll
Two
look
different
a little
places.
mixed up. So,
Right.
yeah, so you got to consider that. Now,
Uh-huh.
now again, there are so many great plants that are out there.
Tons.
But it's all about picking the right plant, and you pick up color. So you have a foundation plant
Okay.
that goes against the house. That's the thing that also, again, it's a picture
It's your
frame.
frame,
In front
yes.
of that, you can mix in some perennials and some color. And in front of that, you can do annuals that are doing a border or pockets of annuals that are giving you that pop of
pop,
color. And that where that is taken all the way through. You know, I have a pet peeve, by the way.
Oh, you do? Oh, I didn't know that.
Nothing drives me more
What's that?
crazy is when people have a driveway that's on the side of the house.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's on the side of the house.
Right.
So they have big concrete
All the way
or paved driveway, you know, whether it's pavers or concrete or blacktop. And they only landscape to the front door from the garage.
That's
It
it.
drives me nuts because your landscape should start at the very corner of the house. So if
That's
you
right.
put one more plant on the corner of that house on the other side of the driveway for the garage,
That's right.
it all of a sudden your house just grew and it looks all complete to where you have an entire complete landscape rather than a pocket of landscape that's from where your driveway
Driveway ends.
ends, you know, so where your driveway ends and your front door is to the other corner. You've got to include that other side. That's my own pet peeve.
Okay.
All right, I'll get off my
Get off the
soapbox.
soapbox.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But really, it's important to make sure that you're following certain rules.
That's it.
Tallest things on the corners, shortest things by the doors,
Right.
using a mixture of evergreens and deciduous, making sure that you're buying the plants that fit
Right.
the house that you have.
Right.
And understanding that if they require the maintenance, you're willing to do it.
Let me ask you something, Len.
Yep.
For the foundation, it all has to be the same. Now, where do the deciduous plants come in?
They're anywhere.
Okay.
But it's a mixture.
It's a mix. You don't want it all the same. Is that
No,
what you're
and there
saying?
are certain deciduous plants, like you think about a burning bush.
Right.
A burning bush is a deciduous plant that gets it's called a burning bush because of the red color the leaves get, but that doesn't happen until the fall.
All right.
But the burning bush is so tight, and you want to get, depending on where you're putting it, there's compacta variety, which is going to be smaller and more compact, but then there's a standard variety, which can get to be 6 to 8 feet tall,
foot, yes.
but you can keep it trimmed.
Right.
Now, those are so many twigs in that make up the look of that plant, so many stems that it almost looks evergreen, that you don't look right through it. It's not something where it, like a butterfly bush, for instance, doesn't stay that full.
Yeah, it's
That
open.
It exposes the foundation,
Right.
where a burning bush would not.
Would not. Okay.
So it's something where you pick it up. If you're using it on one side of that walk, you pick it up on the other side in another spot. So you start at the corners and work
Work your
towards
way
the
in.
door.
Okay.
And you pick up colors and textures and forms throughout that landscape, and you balance it out on each side.
Okay, that's a great point there.
That's it. That's it. Visit your garden center this weekend.
That's right.
plants are in.
Oh, they are.
They can help you develop a plan.
Wow.
Don't make the mistake and trying to do all your perennial garden all at
All
one
at once,
time.
you can't do it.
It takes a year to,
That's right.
to plant a good perennial garden,
Yes.
not just one shot.
Right.
Again, we have Lenten rows right
That's
now.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not
Get
going to
in there.
have them.
Yeah.
They're
get
almost
there.
they're
Yeah.
not almost done.
That's right. Right.
And you won't be able to get them until next year.
So get in there early now to get all the varieties, right, Len?
Right. You start picking a few out, some of your
That's right.
favorites. All right. We're going to be right back after this, and we're going to talk about your options for an organic lawn.
Great.
We'll be back after this.
Introducing Miracle Grow's next big thing, Performance Organics. Finally, organics that work. Tested and refined by plant scientists for twice the results. Guaranteed. Don't grow a snack, grow a feast. Don't grow a flower. Grow $1 million view. This new organic collection of soil and plant food is what you've always wanted. No compromise, just results. Guaranteed. Miracle Grow Performance Organics.
Depending on the
Again,
lot.
organic,
Yeah.
You may have to be
patient.
tolerant of some weeds.
There you
Okay.
go. There you go.
Because it doesn't kill the weeds. It
Right,
prevents them.
prevents them. Yes.
Dandelions usually are overwintering, so it's not
It's
going to
not
prevent
do
them.
that, huh?
My suggestion is to use a combination.
Both.
Both.
Okay.
So doing a little bit of organic and a little bit of, some of those things that you have to do.
Kind of mesh them.
Yeah,
together.
So-
You're almost like a laboratorian guy.
Well,
In the lab.
what it is, it's that you're not like a person that wants to eat fish to be healthy, but isn't isn't totally sold out, or somebody that wants to just eat vegetables for a while, but isn't a vegan,
Right.
because they want to eat, a steak once in a while.
Yeah.
They don't have to be totally bought in,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they can understand that eating vegetables is good for you.
That's right. Yeah.
So using organics,
It's the same thing.
once in a while or most of the time,
Right.
but when you have to use something that's inorganic to get control,
Oh, you have to.
you have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
You're
again,
taking antibiotics.
right. Yeah. Well,
There's no other
right.
choice.
That's right. But again, it's going and trying to get that. You want to get the best lawn possible. You're going to use a mixture of the two.
Okay.
But there are some people that are completely sold out for organics, and I completely understand you.
Sure,
I understand you. We feel your pain.
That's
we
right.
understand, and there's so many options today that there weren't even 10 years ago.
But were you saying with the organic, you have to be a little bit more patient and it's going to take a little longer? You saying
Longer, patient,
patient,
sure,
all that.
all that.
Okay.
All that. Tolerant.
Tolerant.
like for instance,
Go ahead.
I think like most of the natural fertilizers are very good.
Mhm.
It's when you get into control products like the weed control, like it's going to work. It's going to work, but it's not going to work like a synthetic product.
Right.
You'll get better control on crabgrass through a synthetic product, but you
Okay.
don't have an option. Your best option as an organic is going to be corn gluten.
Corn gluten. Okay.
Right. Now again, it's going to do the best.
Okay.
Now, I think one of the best things that's out there is an organic choice for an insecticide.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Jonathan Green has an excellent
Good.
organic insecticide, and it's not so much a kill. And it's one like most organics that you like neem oil
Right.
and things like that are sprays.
Sprays.
This is a granule.
Granule. Oh,
This
that's
is a
even
granule.
better.
Put it down with a spreader,
Mhm.
right? And it's
Okay.
mostly it's thyme. It's the oil of thyme, and it's on a corn cob base. That
Corn cob. What do you mean by
corn cob is what it's on. A lot of fertilizers use a corn cob base.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, it's what the fertilizer is attached to,
Oh, okay.
so that it goes through the spreader. And so you're really
That's
throwing corn cobs around, crushed up corn cobs, and that's really what's working.
Oh, okay.
So, but again, it's using that, and that it also has another item in it that It can be found in peanuts, and it has some antifungal activity as well.
Wow.
It's and it's used as a pesticide.
How about that?
So again, organic options, and that's that again. Organic insect control by Jonathan Green.
Jonathan Green has
Kills over 100 surface feeding insects,
That's quite a
ants,
bit.
chinch bugs, fleas, spiders. So again, those of you that have dogs, great choice.
Yeah,
great choice.
Beautiful, huh?
Yep.
I like that thyme oil.
Yep. Yep.
Probably smells good.
Yeah, it does. It actually has a little bit of wintergreen in it as well.
Oh,
So
yeah? Wow.
Don't eat it.
That's
Okay.
right.
And we've talked several times about your soil, feeding your soil.
How important?
You tell me.
Oh, my gosh.
How important is feeding your soil?
Super
Julio?
important. That's the first step. Right, Len?
It is. It absolutely
You
is.
got to start from the bottom and work your way up.
Yep, that's right. And it's all about what's in the soil.
It's in the soil.
Because that's how your plants
And
get food.
unlocking those nutrients are in there too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So pH.
pH is, how
Keep
huge
going
is that,
back to
huh?
pH.
That's right.
But again, something like Love Your Soil.
Love your soil. Great product.
Jonathan Green
Jonathan
product.
Green again, yeah.
Jonathan Green again.
Yes.
The Great American Lawn Program.
Yes, it is.
That it will go, and again, it helps get porosity in your soil, so it makes room in your soil. So
What's
if
that
you have
porosity?
hard,
When
think of it this way: if you have hard clay soil, it loosens it up.
Okay, breaks that down.
It does. It also adds microbes,
Ooh.
which I've told it now. I think
my
4
goodness.
weeks in a row. What are microbes? What do
They're
they do
like
in the soil?
Small organisms that break down everything,
And they attach to the root,
that's where it roots, yes, and they
right?
open up
Mycorrhiza,
mycorrhiza,
endo, ecto,
fungi, yes.
right? And what it does is it attaches to
itself.
your
Roots.
root of your grass or
Grasses.
whatever plant,
Right.
all
All
plants
of them,
in your
right?
garden as well,
Great product.
right? And then there's and now they have a Magical that's called Magical for acidic soil.
Right.
And what that is a combination of
both.
regular Magical, which is again it's a calcium, Magical, magnesium, iron, calcium. That Magical and Love Your Soil together.
Wow.
Excellent product for
What
the
a
garden.
combination.
Perfect for your lawn.
Yes.
And again, adjust your pH.
How about
But it
that?
also will add some of those same things that the Love Your Soil
Does.
will do.
Wow.
Yep.
Super product, huh?
Yep.
Oh, we like that one.
Yep, we like that one
Yes,
very
we
much.
do.
Very much. And organic fertilizers are going to break down slow. Like Espoma, for instance, like one of my favorites from Espoma,
Which one's that?
it's going to be the plant tone.
Plant tone. Oh. All
Yeah,
purpose.
all Espoma has gone almost all organic.
Yes.
So when you're using Holly tone, you're using plant tone.
Organic.
You know, it's almost all 100%
organic.
organic. They've done a great job. So there's lots of choices out there.
Tons.
Talk to your people at the garden center.
Yep.
They will.
We know.
They'll guide you, and whether you're a complete organic,
Organic person.
we can take care of you.
That's right.
If you want to use organic as much as possible until you have a problem that you need to take care of, we can do that too.
Oh yeah.
Again.
We're there for you.
That's right. And we won't tell anybody if you're an organic person that's actually using I'm sneaking an inorganic problem to control my disease on my lawn, but
sometimes you need it, right, Len?
That's right.
Oh yes. We
That's
sometimes
right.
need a little oomph.
But your garden centers are the clearinghouse for information,
There you go.
and that they also have the products that you'll be successful with.
Yes. That's what we want.
We're not gonna, we're not selling elixirs.
No.
We're not medicine
success.
men. We're selling success, exactly, Julio. And that again, we know what works. We know it works.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of what works,
Uh-huh.
we're going to talk about birds in your garden
Ooh,
in a good
birds.
way
That's right.
right after this. The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center is dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds. We carry a flock of feeders like the Brome Squirrel-Proof feeder, which has a lifetime guarantee. Brome makes fantastic feeders for frustrating squirrels and feeding songbirds. Bloomer's Bird Sanctuary has a vast selection of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. We carry Lyric, Coles, CNS,
Pine Tree Farms, and our own line called Bloomer's Blend. Bloomer's Blend Songbird Magnet contains premium black oil sunflower, peanut splits, millet, safflower, and tree nuts. It's sure to attract the most colorful songbirds to your yard. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey. Visit us online at www.bloomers.com. When you come in, ask for Shirley Spurbeck, Bloomer's Wild Bird Specialist. Mention you heard it on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, and we'll give you $10 off a 20-pound bag of Bloomer's Blend Songbird Magnet Mix.
Tired of pale green, weedy results from four-step lawn programs? That's because they don't do anything for the soil. The New American Lawn four-step program feeds the lawn and the soil. Magical Plus, a unique soil food that adjusts soil pH, loosens hard soil, and feeds soil microbes, is the key difference. Without the right soil conditions, you'll never enjoy a great lawn. Competitive programs simply don't match up. So feed your lawn and your soil with the New American Lawn four-step program by Jonathan Green.
Jonathan Green products can be found at these fine stores: Action Hardware, Wilmington, Delaware; Hockessin Hardware, Hockessin, Delaware; Gasper's Garden Center, Richboro, Pennsylvania.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call us on the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. And if we use your question on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Well, here we are, Len.
Here we are.
Birds are coming back into the garden, and they're going to help us with the insects, aren't they?
Some never left.
They did.
Some never left. You know, we always think of birds like we carry a net that covers like fruit trees and stuff, because birds can be nasty about fruiting things. But most of the time in our garden, they'll leave us alone.
Yep.
But they'll help us because there are so many insects that invade a garden. Aphids. I mean, aphids.
They're all over.
Aphids are easy to kill, but the problem is they come in such mass that you go and you have to control the nymphs and everything else. But that's not my point. My point is set up a bird feeder, or a bird house in your garden area to draw birds. There's multiple generations in certain birds. Let's see. I mean, everybody knows about purple martins. Martin house. They cluster and nest together.
Right.
Those will get rid of they will take care of so many insects. I mean, they'll do it on the fly too. Moths and gnats and flies and mosquitoes, and they catch them in midair.
They do. Wow.
They're not going to be attacking your garden.
Yeah.
And that's why so many you go out, especially like Lancaster County, they don't put those bird feeders up. Maybe they do, but they're helping them get rid of insect populations.
How about that?
Chickadees, same type of thing. They're going to aphids, caterpillars, leafhoppers, moths, and beetles. Right. Bluebirds. They eat snails, ants, sow bugs.
Wow.
Now that's some of those. They get a little bit down more to the ground.
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah, we like them.
And bats.
Bats.
Put up a bat house.
Yes.
Bats aren't scary.
No, they're not.
It's not like it's a scary thing. They eat so many mosquitoes. It's incredible. There's a figure that, let's see, I have it here somewhere. Julio, stall for me.
Oh,
let's
yes.
see.
These are our friend, by the way.
They are.
And they're controlling all our bad little insects that are going to kill our little vegetable garden. So we got to make sure that we have them near our home. So one way of doing that is by, like you're saying, Len, putting a little
a bat house up.
House.
Again, 1,000 mosquitoes in an hour for bats. But bats are also pollinators.
Oh, they are? Wow,
they
we didn't know that.
They are. They're not scary.
Oh.
They're not scary.
That's great control, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Wrens, cardinals, finches. Finches, my favorite.
They eat potato beetles. I hate potato beetles.
You do.
Potato beetles, they go from that like almost gelatin-like stage of orange, and then they get that hard striped shell. They're kind of pretty, but man, they destroy plants like kale and cabbage and broccoli. I don't know.
See that we don't think about birds being our helpers to our gardens.
They are.
Yeah, they're super.
They are.
Super
Put up a birdhouse.
Yes.
Birdhouse in your garden.
There you go.
All right. We'll be back after this.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Spring has sprung, and it's time to visit Bloomer's Home and Garden Center. Bring us a soil sample, and we'll test your soil's pH free. Heck, bring us a water sample from your pond, too, and we'll test that for ammonia and other critical levels. Did you know that Bloomers has a pond department? We have all of the water treatments, fish, and plants to keep your pond looking glorious year-round. Are you looking for that 4-step lawn program? Bloomers carries Scott's, Jonathan Green, Bonide, and Espoma's Organic Step program. Need to seed? Bloomers has its own blend of seed called Township Turf. It's just the right balance of rye, fescue, and bluegrass to give you a spectacular lawn. It's also perfect for repairing bare spots and matches extraordinarily well to sodded lawns. Don't forget the garden. Bloomers carries bumper crop soil amendment and all the fertilizers a garden could need, both organic and inorganic. The best vegetables start as seedlings from Bloomers. Come visit those who know the friendly folks at Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey, just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. For directions and information, visit www.bloomers.com. That's www.bloomers.com. And we'll see you in the garden. Well, Julio, we have spent so much time talking about the landscape. We're out of time.
Oh, I know.
We're out of
It's
time.
cool. Unbelievable.
Next week, it's the tomato show.
Tomato. Oh, we love tomatoes.
We do.
Jersey tomatoes. We love them.
That's right.
Right.
So, what are we doing next week?
Oh, we're going to talk about major ones like beefsteak, plum, and grape, and cherry, and you name it.
We're going to explain all the differences between determinate and indeterminate.
Oh, what is that?
It's a big boy, better than a beefsteak. We'll let you know next week.
Beautiful.
Make sure that you call the hotline.
Yes.
Any questions?
Any question.
We'll
take
answer it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll answer it.
Right. So we'll see you in the garden.
Let's see you in the garden. Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomers' Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com.